Our banking halls are open every weekday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Together, we can make Harare a smart and livable city.
Enjoy real value online with TM Pick and Pay Click and Collect. It's time for the news.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on tonight's edition of the main news. My name is Joyce Mabika. Piso Jominika is on sign language.
And I'm Justin Matlatla. Doran Ngube will join us later on from our Montreal studios in Bulawayo. These are our leading stories tonight.
New look for Harare as Old Mazoe Road opens to traffic.
This is in tandem with the Second Republic's infrastructure development programs.
In business news, World Bank data points to Zimbabwe's economic resilience.
And in sport tonight, Zimbabwe to get help from the World Anti-Doping Agency in fighting recreational drug abuse.
And now for these and more stories in greater detail. The Second Republic's infrastructure development program has changed the face of the capital, with Old Mazoe Road in Harare, which was under rehabilitation, having been opened to traffic this Monday.
Zimbabweans are waking up to new developments on a daily basis as new roads are being constructed while old ones are refurbished. Old Mazoe Road in Harare, which links Westgate to the new city in Mount Abden that was under rehabilitation, is now open to traffic, much to the delight of motorists and the travelers.
Every month masuspension. Saka tototenda hurumende ine zvairikuita ende hapasi apa pega ukatenderera pese Harare ese itaregeka. Saka 2030 ateta ufambira mudenga chaipo.
Ndakamba wakadai tu aiwa bo boze kuti aiwa vakugona.
This is a very good. This is an excellent road. We really appreciate what is happening with the government of Zimbabwe.
Deputy Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Honorable Joshua Sako, said government remains unrelenting in its drive to create a modern road network.
This work can compare to anywhere else in the world, and this is being done by Zimbabweans using Zimbabwean funding, money from our own treasury. There's no external funding for this infrastructure development. So this is very exciting for us as the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development as we move towards upgrading infrastructure across the country.
The local contractor Bitumen, which carried out the project, now boasts of a staff complement of more than 1,500 workers, thanks to government's infrastructure development.
We are very proud to be associated with this kind of project, and we are also pleased with the speed at which we executed the works. As we are aware, soon after Easter, we closed this road to the public, and in a few weeks' time, we have got this completed product. We have also completed the boulevard. It's also at a surface stage.
Apart from preparations for the SADC summit in August, government has this year intensified road rehabilitation, with internal resources being mobilized through creating additional revenue streams to fund infrastructural development. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Indeed, the government is riding on massive infrastructure development projects, propelling socio-economic development for the transformation of livelihoods.
One of the key indicators of development in any economy is the crane concentration in the sky, scaffolds across areas, builders, surveyors, civil engineers, and project managers at work, among others. The past 5 years have witnessed massive activities, including airport construction works, iron and steel plants, upgrading of hotels, and tourist facilities. It has also been a hive of activity in terms of refurbishment projects, power generation plants, dam construction, construction of shopping malls, border post modernization, and office complex construction. The situation has further been boosted by the massive road construction systems across the country, with the Mbuzi traffic interchange set to become one of the economic enablers once completed. Zimbabwe Investment and Development Agency ZIDA statistics indicate that infrastructure projects are dominating investment inflows, with more capital being invested. The agency notes that government is leading the funding of projects, with the key beneficiaries being local contractors. Infrastructure development projects are being extended to all parts of the country, with the social amenity projects such as construction of schools, vocational training centers, and healthcare facilities dominating. According to the Procurement Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, PRAZ, the awarding of contracts to locals has revived the construction value chains in the economy. Job opportunities are being created as a result of the infrastructure projects, with the skills retention being maintained while government is benefiting from taxes. Fiscal authorities are confident infrastructure projects will bring about positive results in the region, facilitate economic growth, and attract investments to Zimbabwe. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
The crocodile industry remains vital for Zimbabwe's economic development in the wake of revelations that the country's crocodile skin exports increased by nearly 40% last year.
The impressive growth is attributed to government's ongoing support for the crocodile farming industry and tourism promotion, which saw over 86,000 wet-sorted belly skins being exported. The figure represents a 39.8% increase in exports between 2022 and 2023. A Crocodile Farmers Association of Zimbabwe annual general meeting held in Victoria Falls this Saturday revealed that France and Italy are the biggest market for wet-sorted skins, followed by Singapore and Germany. The total value of unprocessed and processed skin exports increased significantly by 55.8% from over 21 million United States dollars in 2022 to over 34 million United States dollars in 2023.
We are now out of the woods. During the COVID era, our exports went down significantly, but there has been a huge improvement. So we are very, very excited about that, and we are looking forward that this year again, the 2024, we expect an improvement to continue as more and more skins are being exported.
Very important in the aspect of forex generation. It's also for education of schools and universities, corporate groups. With the foreigners coming here and seeing the farm from a tourist facility, they go back with a bigger experience and more knowledge.
Government has since implored the crocodile industry to invest in value addition.
So we need to invest more into the current technology, because you know we are living in a globalized world. We have to equate what is happening in China, what is happening in America, and bring it to Zimbabwe.
The industry provides direct employment for about 1,600 people, with an estimated annual wage bill of over 12 million United States dollars. There is also an average of 6 dependents per employee, many of whom come from rural communities around Binga, Kariba, Chirundu, and Victoria Falls. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Government is set to launch a smart postal office as part of the digitalization pillar to ensure seamless postal and courier services.
The visiting Deputy Director of the Universal Postal Union, UPU, Mr. Mayan Oswald, paid a courtesy call on Vice President Kembo Mohadi this Monday, accompanied by Information, Communication, Technology, Postal and Courier Services Minister Honorable Tatenda Mavetera. It emerged that Zimbabwe is in the process of implementing a smart postal office in the country, with the Postal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, POTRAZ, also set to host Southern Region's UPU regional offices.
We need to make sure that we have a smart post office. We're going to be launching a smart post office in the coming 2 months to make sure that at least we are there to digitalize within the vision of our president. And it is quite important that for us, we need to have great collaboration for us to be able to enhance this. And with also the effort that the Universal Postal Union is also giving to Zimbabwe, we believe that we're also going to do a lot.
There are 3 reasons for our visit here. First reason is to show the respect and gratitude to Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe is hosting our UPU regional office. We at UPU are sure that Zimbabwe can play a leading role not only in Africa but also in the future in other, with other postal operators. We also invited Honorable Minister to participate next year in the Universal Postal Union Congress, which will be held in September 25 in Dubai in Arab Emirates.
Discussions also centered on how Zimbabwe can tap into Universal Postal Union services through smart partnerships.
We discussed about e-commerce, where we want the Universal Postal Union to assist in the coming up of the e-commerce mobile app.
This visit is very important in that we had an opportunity to discuss areas of common interest. Some of the areas are to do with the forthcoming strategy which is being formulated, whereas as Zimbabwe we are also having an input into the postal strategy for the whole world.
Zimbabwe is a member of the global postal community through the Universal Postal Union, a United Nations intergovernmental specialized agency for international postal services. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
In a sad development, 8 people died while 10 others were injured after a Passion Link bus caught fire Sunday evening in the Gandanzara area of Makoni district. This comes at a time there is serious concern over public transporters operating without certificates of fitness.
Confirming the fatal bus inferno, police spokesperson Commissioner Ponyati reviewed the bus had 66 passengers. He said 58 of the passengers successfully disembarked from the bus, which caught fire on their way from a church function in Marondera Sunday evening.
Semapurisa eZimbabwe Republic Police tine urombo kumuri kwa Gandanzara netsaona iyo yakaitika nezuro usiku panguva dzinosanganisira kubva na7 kusvika kuma8 dzeusiku, apo pari kunzi iro bhazi rakatsva. Bhazi kutsva kwaraita semapurisa taakuzwa kuti ranga rine vanhu 66, zvichireva kuti pabhazi imomo makabuda vanhu 58 ndo vakakwanisa kubuda.
Eyewitnesses and survivors narrated the tragic event.
Mai wangu washaikira mubhazi umu, wanga waenda kuchechi kuBernard Muzeki, saka takatovamirira kumba tichitobvunza kuti ko bhazi rasati rasvika here.
Takasvika takagona kutambira vanhu vakanga vatsva, takagona kutambira wobva watorwa namai wobva wakwidzwa kumusoro.
Vanhu vakangokwanisa kuzongobudawo nemahwindo, moto wakanga watangira mberi kwebhazi.
Tandoti fambe tione mabhazi aya akutanga futi kupwititika. Fambe wapwititika, tikambonesana tabva panyabadza apa kuti zviri kutaura kuti
bhazi ikoko kwese kwatakabva ikokuku raingoita zvacho zveku heat and cooling. Vanhu vachingoti zvinonzi tinosvika, umwe vachiti vanhu wee hazvisi safe.
Ministry of Health and Child Care officials revealed that 7 of the survivors are still in hospital, with authorities raising concern over the poor state of the bus.
Following the bus incident, we received 10 patients. One had severe burns covering around 40%. That one we have transferred to Victoria Chitepo Provincial Hospital for specialist care. Then 3 who had minor injuries have already been discharged.
Varidzi vemabhazi vedu vanofamba nevanhu vanofanira kuita more care kumeka sure kuti mabhazi avo akamira zvakanaka, because accident ingadai isina kuitika dai kuri kunzi mudziyo wanga uchishandiswa nevanhu wanga wakanaka.
Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister Honorable Felix Mona was at the scene before consoling the affected at Rusape Hospital. He also revealed the government has cancelled the bus company's permit after discovering it was operating without a certificate of fitness.
Notenda kuti kumira kwandaita nhasi tanzwa nezvetsaona munguva yemadekwana mutungamiri wenyika baba Mnangagwa anoremekedzwa vakashushikana zvikuru vachinzwa nezvetsaona iyi. Setsika yavo nguva dzose vanoti ini segurukota ravo ndinofanira kunge ndichiziva ndichisvika panzvimbo ndichinzwa kuti chii chakaitika ndozonowapira, saka vari kusvitsawo mashoko avo ekuchema semutungamiri wenyika. Uyezve isu vebandiko retransport tiri panguva yekusuwa zvakare kuti vhiki nevhiki tava kuona njodzi dzichiitika dzichiparadza vana veZimbabwe.
Meanwhile, forensic investigations are underway to identify the deceased. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Makoni.
Well, our hearts go out to the families of the deceased, and we also wish those in hospital a quick recovery. The recently appointed judges of the High Court have been sworn in, with stakeholders confident they will improve the justice delivery system.
Stakeholders are convinced the beefing up of the High Court bench is critical for the swift handling of cases.
10 judges is because of the shortages that we have had, like I indicated. We have shortages in Bulawayo, so I'm hopeful now is the discretion really is the prerogative of the Honorable Chief Justice and the Judge President of the High Court when it comes to the deployment of those judges. This occasion today is quite significant and very important to the operations of the court, to the vision of the JSC in terms of decentralization of the court, because you can't decentralize when you don't have the personnel.
This will enhance access to justice in that all those cases that were taking long to be concluded, with the coming in of these judges, it means that they will be expedited.
Addition of judges, new judges to the bench will probably result in a situation where justice can be delivered timelessly. We do not expect to see any more backlogs or any delayed judgments, because we now have additional judges on the bench who can assist with that.
The ceremony also saw the first Deputy Judge President of the High Court, Honorable Justice Karaine Sumawadze, being sworn in. President Emmerson Mnangagwa appointed the new judges after the Judicial Service Commission conducted public interviews last month. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
A government has noted the need for public-private partnerships to enhance the country's water security, which has been affected by the El Niño-induced drought this year.
Impressed by Tajikistan's water management system, Deputy Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Honorable Vangelis Aritatos, has emphasized the private sector's crucial role in achieving water security. Deputy Minister Aritatos, who was part of Zimbabwe's delegation to the Dushanbe Water Process High-Level International Conference in Tajikistan last week, noted the importance of public-private partnerships in boosting economic sectors such as energy, manufacturing and agriculture.
Government still finances the bulk of what we do in the wash sector, and this is where we have to find out how we can bring in the private sector to fill that void, because surely it cannot just be government. You can see what we saw even on Monday with the dam that we saw. Today, the Minister of Industry was telling us about a new dam that they're building, which is going to produce for them 4,000 megawatts of water. And I asked, who's financing this? And he said it's the World Bank, the private sector, the government. So unfortunately, what we see in Zimbabwe is that mainly the government is taking the initiative. And I think this needs to be the thing of the past. We need to now see how we can entice the private sector.
Deputy Minister Aritatos, who also acknowledged water as a fundamental human right enshrined in the Zimbabwean constitution, highlighted the connection between water security and achieving United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Water is a fundamental, it's of fundamental importance for us to meet our SDGs. It cannot be ignored. So even us as a ministry, we are prioritizing water. We've given it quite a substantial budget. And as you know from what we've discussed in the past, we are drilling 35,000 boreholes in 35,000 villages. We are also drilling 10,000 boreholes for 10,000 schools.
The third high-level international conference on water for sustainable development held in Dushanbe last week left Zimbabwe fully equipped with the requisite knowledge in terms of water management to improve agricultural productivity. Zimbabwe is on a drive to construct dams, which include the Gwai Shangani Lake in Matabeleland North, Semwa Dam in Mashonaland Central, Kundri Dam in Mashonaland East, and Vungu Dam in the Midlands Province. Others, like Tugu Mukosi, are already operational as part of efforts to develop irrigation-driven agriculture and achieve food security in the face of climate change. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News.
And still on the issue of water, more than 1,000 farmers are set to benefit from the Kesho Valley Irrigation Scheme, which has been rehabilitated through government's smallholder irrigation revitalization program.
Farmers at Kesho Valley Irrigation Scheme in Chimanimani are looking forward to the future with hope after government spearheaded the revitalization of the irrigation scheme.
Tatopupa position chamirira kuenda chete iri motikari yato start yakutoda kuti isimuke ino kuenda.
Zvatakagadzirirwa ngegovernment zvakatinakira ngekuti mvura iri kufambe zvakanaka. Kumashure kwese kuti hatisina mvura asi izvozvi zvitaanayo mvura tiri kurime zvinhu zvedu. Kuvhurwa kwebhodha kuchatibatsira kuti tione market yakasimba. Neso takurima sevarimi vepasvinai irrigation scheme paKesho Valley tinenge takuziva kuti zvatiri kurima tine market yatinayo.
The rehabilitation and capacitation of irrigation schemes feeds directly into government's commercialization drive in promoting rural industrialization.
It speaks to rural development. It speaks to livelihoods upliftment. It speaks to real rural industrialization. It means that it is possible for production to happen in a rural area.
The scheme was previously involved in value addition, creating one of the country's most popular brands, Kesho Valley Tindi Beans. Government, through the smallholder irrigation revitalization program, is targeting the rehabilitation of at least 60 irrigation schemes countrywide, 4 of them in Manicaland province. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chimanimani.
These and more stories are available in greater detail on our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw.
You can also check our social media handles at X as well as Facebook. We are at ZBC News Online. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube and WhatsApp channels at ZBC News Online.
Still to come in this bulletin, in business. World Bank data points to Zimbabwe's economic resilience.
And later in sport tonight, Zimbabwe to get help from the World Anti-Doping Agency fighting recreational drug abuse. We'll be back with these stories and more. Stay with us.
What? Zimbabwe's favorite. Pizza Inn. Must be the pizza.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
No! Oh, no.
But not for us here at SuperSport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on SuperSport.
Welcome back. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, is supporting Zimbabwe's goal of achieving universal health coverage by 2030 by availing critical medicines and equipment.
The donation comes at a time when Zimbabwe is battling vaccine-preventable diseases like cholera. The cold chain equipment, cholera vaccines, and other medical supplies are expected to strengthen the country's ability to store and deliver vaccines. Handing over the medical supplies and equipment, UNICEF country representative Dr. Nicholas Alipui and the ambassador of Egypt to Zimbabwe, Her Excellency Ambassador Sawa Moafi, noted Zimbabwe's commitment to tackling vaccine-preventable diseases.
This handover is therefore a demonstration of the commitment of the government of Zimbabwe and CDC Africa and UNICEF.
Africa CDC representative Mr. Leo Rick emphasized the importance of regional vaccine production.
These numerous health challenges across the Southern Africa region highlight an urgent need for health system strengthening, anchored on coordinated epidemic preparedness and response activities, such as high-level emergency ministerial meeting on cholera epidemics and climate-related public health emergency that was hosted by the government of Malawi in Lilongwe on 10 March 2023.
The Minister of Health and Child Care, Dr. Douglas Mombeshora, expressed his gratitude, stressing the critical role of cold chain equipment in maintaining vaccine effectiveness and achieving universal health coverage.
The joint donation of life-saving equipment represents a significant step forward in our national healthcare journey. As you know, proper cold chain infrastructure and equipment is the cornerstone of effective vaccination programs. It ensures that vaccines, our most powerful weapons against preventable diseases, retain their potency and reach every corner of our nation in good quality.
In pursuit of universal health coverage, Zimbabwe has implemented several initiatives, including deploying community health workers, digitizing health facilities, and procuring technologically advanced medical equipment. Tarema Duyu, ZBC News, Harare.
And staying focused on the health sector, Zimbabwe has become the 6th country in Africa to be recognized by the World Health Organization for its robust and well-oiled pharmaceutical system, which guarantees safety and effectiveness of medicines. The country's medicine and vaccine regulatory system, the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, MCAZ, has received plaudits for attaining what is known as Maturity Level 3 status. This comes after the WHO took notice of Zimbabwe's robust and well-functioning medical control system, which guarantees the safety and effectiveness of medicines. Addressing members of the media in Harare this Monday, MCAZ Director General Mr. Richard Rukwata said the accomplishment demonstrates Zimbabwe's commitment to providing its citizens with high-quality medicines.
Zimbabwe's regulatory system has attained maturity level 3 for the regulation of medicines and vaccines in a non-producing country. This achievement follows a comprehensive assessment and the successful implementation of critical recommendations by the World Health Organization.
The achievement unlocks several advantages, as Zimbabwe can now confidently export its locally produced medicines and vaccines to other countries. It also opens doors for global collaboration on health issues, allowing Zimbabwe to share expertise and best practices with other countries. By reaching this milestone, Zimbabwe joins a select group of 5 other African nations, including South Africa, Ghana, Egypt, Nigeria, and Tanzania, solidifying its position as a leader in pharmaceutical regulation on the continent.
We now join Dora Ncube from our Montrose studios in Bulawayo. Good evening, and it's over to you, Dora.
Thank you so much, Justin and Joyce, and a lovely evening to you. We continue with the main news. The Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency, ZimStat, is forging ahead with its mapping and listing exercise as the country prepares to conduct its first economic census next year.
ZimStat held its first economic census sensitization meeting with the business community in Bulawayo this Monday.
ngibona ungani kumabhizinisi ethu kungancedisa in the near future ngoba kuyabe sokuyaziwa amanye amabhizinisi mangaki maybe operate on same thing or anything. So ngibona ngani kungasincedisa kakhulu khona lokho ngoba kuyabe sokule information about amabhizinisi ethu ukuthi ame njani.
The agency says the economic census seeks to produce comprehensive baseline statistics on the size and structure of the economy.
Planning to conduct our economic census, it is a very important exercise in the country because it gives us an opportunity to measure the structure of our economy and see how fair we are as compared to other countries in terms of policy formulation with regards to economic planning.
Government believes the economic census will provide a comprehensive picture of the provincial and national economic landscape.
There's a national launch of the Economic Census 2025 that's going to be conducted by ZIMSTARS, basically measuring economic activity across the country, starting with the smallest of our enterprises, going to the largest, so that we know where we are.
According to ZIMSTAT, the 2025 economic census mapping and listing exercise will run under the theme Counting Every Business Shaping Economic Policies.
Matabeleland and South Province is achieving development milestones after yet another primary school was constructed in Gwanda using devolution funds.
While the rapid growth of Gwanda town since the turn of the millennium has led to an increase in population, infrastructure development in the education sector has been failing to match the growth. Hence, learners were walking long distances to school. The coming in of devolution funds under the Second Republic has, however, changed the fate of the town, with a new school, Pakama Primary, being constructed, much to the relief of the residents.
Kuzvikoro distance iri kure funda beminye nabantwana abekungakuhle vele kakhulu ukukross umfula lo akukho safe especially for abantwana abanye bachayisa ntambama so ngekho safe kana mvura ikanaya bhopo mare razara vanenge vasingachakwanisi kana kucross.
Gwanda municipality has dedicated a larger chunk of its devolution funds to improving the education system.
Population in Gwanda primary schools is pathetic. The Jaunda primary is at 2,100 if not 2,300, which is very, very, very bad. And our priority currently as Gwanda municipality is to see the Pagama primary completed. Then we'll shift our focus to start another primary school at Spiscop.
Matabeleland South Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Evelyn Ndlove, has been impressed by contribution of the devolution fund in the education and the health sectors in the province.
The two sectors have been seen a growth in the number of classroom blocks that have been put up by the fund. We have seen a reduction in the distances the children are walking from their homes to the schools in compliance with the law. The law stipulates that a child in the primary school should not walk a distance of more than 5 kilometers. So we've seen the reduction in the distances the children are walking now because of the devolution funds.
Various schools and clinics dotted around the province are at different stages of construction, with Montrose 7 Clinic in Incisa and the Dumba Clinic in Beitbridge ready for commissioning, while Shanyauge Clinic and Mzimuni classroom blocks are a few touches away from completion. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
The Mberengwa Rural District Council, and part by the government's devolution program, has acquired a drilling rig as the local authority steps up efforts to address the prevailing water challenges in the district.
A government's devolution program is bearing fruit in formerly marginalized communities, with Mberengwa area being the latest to benefit after the procurement of a bore drilling rig by the Rural District Council. The newly commissioned equipment is set to address water challenges in Mberengwa district.
Tanga tichitambudzika. Nzvimbo ino ndiyo yanga yangosara isina kana chibhorani, taingopa zvibhorani zvisingashandi.
Ndoona sekuti ndo nguva yekuti isusu samayouth nemayouth enharaunda tichitanga dota maprojects pano, nokuti mukatarisa nzvimbo yese inotadza kuti inzvimbo inorimika, inzvimbo yakanaka, saka kuuya kwemvura kunogona kuti yamura.
Vanhu vazhinji vangodotamba kumwa mvura dzomudhambo chingodzi vanongovidza
vamwe vachindochera kumifukuko.
Mberengwa East Legislator Honorable Tasara Ungwe is confident that the new equipment will spare rural development.
Every ball says give me a president tinechitoisa 1 hectare garden nutrition garden pachikoro pano pachadoiswa pacharimwa murivo pacharimwa zvakawanda zvokuti vanhu vabatsirikane.
Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution Honorable Owen Ncube emphasized the importance of water access in achieving national goals.
This rig should therefore ensure access to potable water by the Mberengwa communities. Under the Second Republic, focus is on bringing services closer to the people as guided by devolution and decentralization agenda.
The new drilling rig complements the government's presidential bore drilling scheme, which is targeting to sink 35,000 solar-powered bores across the country. Karajushe, ZBC News, Berengwa.
And that's it from us here at Montrose. We now take you back to the team at Pocketsville for more news. Joyce and Justin, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Dora. Now, the issue of water is topical. Zimbabwe will host an irrigation conference on the 5th of next month, where the issue of climate-proofing the agriculture sector is expected to take center stage.
In a media briefing in Harare this Monday, Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister Dr. Anxious Masuka emphasized the need for climate-proofing agriculture through irrigation.
At the national level, we climate-proof agriculture through irrigation. We have 217,000 hectares of irrigation developed throughout the country against the potential of 2.2 million hectares. We have 10,600 dams constructed already. We have 12 major dams under construction. So Zimbabwe has no shortage of water. What we have a shortage of currently is the conveyancing system and the irrigation to ensure that we are able to produce the 1.8 million tons that we require for human and animal consumption on an annual basis. So therefore, the President will headline an irrigation investment conference on the 5th of July to try and mobilize resources and catalyze this irrigation rehabilitation and development so that we can meet the targeted 350,000 hectares for summer irrigation in as near a period as is possible.
Dr. Masuka highlighted that droughts will become more frequent and severe in the coming years, hence the need to enhance climate-proofing agriculture.
Droughts, such as the one that we have experienced, will continue to visit us in increasing frequency in the years ahead. In fact, Zimbabwe is predicted to become drier in the decades ahead. By most conservative estimates, rain-fed maize production will decrease by 17% by 2050 on average across the 7 catchments in Zimbabwe. The Muzingwane catchment will probably be the hardest hit, and we expect as much as 34% reduction in rain-fed maize production.
The July conference is set to highlight investment opportunities available in the irrigation subsector, with the country targeting 350,000 hectares under irrigation by 2025 to achieve food self-sufficiency. Farai Gwase, ZBC News, Harare.
The ZANU-PF restructuring exercise has started with focus on rejuvenating the ruling party's structures. Bruce Jawanda reports.
The ruling ZANU-PF party conducts its restructuring exercise as provided for by the Constitution to come up with an effective database of its support base. In Harare province, ZANU-PF teams have embarked on a door-to-door exercise, starting with highly populated suburbs.
Ana Harare South, Unyani, Churu, Epworth North, Epworth South, Headcliff, ma-areas aya atotanga kutonyorwa nhasi sekudirectwa kwatakaitwa nevakuru. Saka masera ari kunyorwa nhasi tichienda kunosvika musi wa17 July.
Those who defected to the Revolutionary Party have also been urged to take the opportunity to become bona fide ZANU-PF members.
Chandiri kukurudzira vanhu, not necessarily ZANU-PF chete, nevamwe vakanga vakapandukawo vari kuda kuuya musangano, ngavauye wapinde muRevolutionary Party. Iparty yevanhu, is a mass party, a colossal party, iparty isingazari.
The sale registration process will end on the 17th of next month, and will culminate in the election of leadership from branch to provincial levels. ZANU-PF is championing various transformative projects across the country, including water provision, road rehabilitation, as part of fulfillment of its election promises. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe-Belarus bilateral relations continue to grow from strength to strength, with local firefighters going through a training program for comprehensive disaster management.
Zimbabwe and Belarus are seeking a comprehensive fire disaster risk management strategy which is set to benefit local authorities. Officially opening a training of trainers program for the firefighters in conjunction with the Republic of Belarus in Harare this Monday, Local Government and Public Works Minister Honorable Daniel Garwe revealed that Zimbabwe is on a drive to strengthen its fire disaster response mechanism.
Training of trainers comprises of firefighters drawn from Harare and Bulawayo metropolitan provinces, fire brigades to receive training on the operation and maintenance of Red Lion type fire tender acquired from the Republic of Belarus. Once equipped with that knowledge, they will be in a position to cascade the training to all local authorities that did not benefit from the initial training conducted by the Republic of Belarus. Statistics of fire outbreaks provided by Environment Management Agency EMA for the year 2022 alone are indeed alarming. You will be surprised to learn that since the beginning of the fire restriction period, which ran from 31 July to 30 November 2022, a total of 3,141 fire incidents destroying 804,588 hectares were recorded in the country.
A total of 21 Zimbabwean firefighters will be trained under the program to better equip the country for fire emergencies.
Cooperation in supply of machinery goes very well. We have already realized 2 phases of agricultural mechanization program with the supply of 1,870 tractors, and also from the last year up to now we were dealing with importing of 131 fire trucks.
Zimbabwe and Belarus cooperate in various sectors, which has seen the country benefiting from public transport buses as well as agriculture and firefighting machinery. Tarema Duyu, ZBC News, Harare.
We now go beyond our country's borders. The late Malawian Vice President Saulos Chilima has been buried in his home district of Mcheu, south of the capital, Lilongwe.
Vice President Chilima and 9 other individuals died when a twin-propeller aircraft went down in a mountainous forest due to bad weather on the 10th of this month. During a state service held on Saturday, the President of Malawi, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, promised a full investigation into a crash. The late Vice President Chilima and President Lazarus Chakwera contested as opposition candidates in 2019. They, however, teamed up to challenge election results in court over irregularities and won, resulting in a rerun of the election. The late Vice President Chilima's burial was attended by former Malawi presidents Bakili Muluzi, Joyce Banda, and former President Peter Mutharika, among other high-ranking officials.
At least 6 people have been killed and 19 others injured in Ecuador after heavy rainstorms triggered a landslide. Reports say a deadly mudslide occurred on Sunday in the city of Banos de Agua Santa in central Ecuador. Authorities in Ecuador say operations at 3 hydroelectric plants have been affected by the storm. Rainstorms have swept across parts of Central and South America over the past few days, forcing multiple countries to issue warnings of the risk of landslides, rockfalls, and flooding.
Palestinian militant group Hamas says it is ready for a comprehensive ceasefire deal in Gaza, including Israel's withdrawal and reconstruction of the Gaza Strip, as well as a complete swap deal. In a televised speech marking the Islamic holiday Eid al-Adha, Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh said their response is consistent with the ceasefire principles put forward by the United States and the United Nations Security Council resolution. The resolution adopted by the Council on the 10th of this month outlines a 3-phase proposal aimed at achieving a comprehensive ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian death toll continues to rise each day, with over 37,000 having died, while over 85,000 have been wounded since the conflict started in October last year.
Business is next after this break.
In today's fast-paced world, paying in Zig is not just about exchanging physical cash. It's about tapping into the electronic payment space, where convenience meets technology. On Zimbabwe's stable, safe, sound, and efficient national payment system, experience seamless transactions at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Join the future of payments today with Zig. Secure, reliable, effortless. Pay the smart way. Pay with Zig.
Production. The World Bank predictions are in line with the National Development Strategy 1 aspirations for the economy to register positive yearly growth rates. Treasury is expecting the economy to register a 3.5% growth rate this year, driven by mining, construction, manufacturing, and agriculture. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
From business, we head straight to the arts, where Afrofusion musician Feli Nandi is soaring high in the male-dominated music space at a time very few Zimbabwean women are making it to the big stage.
The music industry has been largely dominated by male musicians who often make it to big shows in the country. Feli Nandi is, however, breaking barriers after performing at one of the biggest music concerts in Harare at the weekend, with music lovers and critics giving positive reviews of her performance.
The amazing performance recently at HICC by Feli Nandi confirms and reaffirms that Feli Nandi has indeed managed to break the barrier, a barrier that has stood for female artists for so many years, where a lot of the major concerts in the country have been male-dominated. And she has managed to actually prove that she is an artist that is a force to reckon.
The Afrofusion diva has been making strides in the male-dominated space and is among a few female musicians to host a solo gig at the Harare International Conference Center.
The story behind our success is just a lot of hard work, focus, and a very good team. And the guys doing all the magic behind the scenes.
To prove she has become a force to reckon with, Feli Nandi is set to perform at Moto Festival in Germany next month. The Afrofusion artist is also the only female artist from Zimbabwe to perform at the Zimfest Weekender set for the United Kingdom at the end of July. Patience Nyagata, SABC News, Harare.
And that's the arts. Lawrence Tusida is on standby with sport after these messages.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe announces a new initiative to ensure sufficient local currency in circulation. Starting June 10, swipe for Zig Cash at any HomeLink branch using your debit or credit card. Available in your Zig denominations 1, 2, 5, and 10 Zig. You can exchange your foreign currency for Zig Cash at the prevailing interbank exchange rate. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is ensuring that adequate Zig Cash is available for all. be it in public transportation, retailers, informal traders, and other key stakeholders. For more information, visit your nearest HomeLink branch. Thank you.
If you drink, be responsible.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
Oh no.
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport.
Give every morning the smart start it deserves with your favorite homegrown breakfast cereal. Nestle Ceravita. Fortified with Grain Smart, a smart combination of ions, vitamins and minerals. Your family gets all the energy they need to make the most of every day. That's why every morning deserves a smart start. Nestle Ceravita. Highly nutritious, simply delicious.
Zimbabwe's favorite.
Pizza Inn. Must be the pizza.
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on our sports news this Monday evening as we get to give you what has been happening through the day. My name is Lawrence Trusida. We start off with news coming through from the World Anti-Doping Agency that is pledged to help Zimbabwe fight recreational drug abuse in sport.
Several cases of recreational drug abuse in sport have been reported in recent years, with Zimbabwean cricketers Wesley Madevere and Brendan Mavuta being banned for 4 months this year after being exposed for drug abuse. The local anti-doping agency has been working round the clock to educate athletes on the dangers of doping in sport, but they have been facing a myriad of challenges, including funding. In a media briefing in Harare this Monday, World Anti-Doping Agency WADA President Witold Banka, who is engaging athletes and administrators in Zimbabwe, pledged more financial and material support to developing countries.
The majority of the resources are going to the regions where we think that we have to support them more, even financially, and to finance this project. So Africa plays a very important role in this approach. And
Government says WADA has contributed to the Sports Integrity Bill.
We're very proud of the work that has been done already on the Integrity Bill. WADA has, I think also through Rodney's office, been playing a big part in what needs to be in there. The International Olympic Committee, the International Cricket Council, we've had very big stakeholders already giving their input into what are the most important parts when it comes to sport integrity.
The World Anti-Doping Agency is a foundation initiated by the International Olympic Committee to promote, coordinate and monitor the fight against drugs in sport. The agency's key activities include scientific research, education, development of anti-doping capacities, and monitoring of the World Anti-Doping Code, whose provisions are enforced by the UNESCO International Convention Against Doping in Sport.
Moving on to football news now, former champions FC Platinum are proving once again that they're emerging force after shooting to the top of the Castle Premier Soccer League, while the traditional giants continue to play a second fiddle.
FC Platinum moved to the top of the PSL table for the first time this season after edging bogey side Bulawayo Chiefs in a statement victory at the weekend. FC Platinum are undefeated in their last 6 matches, winning 5 and drawing once. Shamva-based Simba Bora are third, while defending champions Gezi Platinum Stars have crept to 4th place after a recent run of good form. The emerging forces in the PSL have taken up the top 4 positions, while the traditional giants are nowhere in the picture. Only Highlanders in 5th are closer, but are 8 points adrift of the log leaders, while Dynamis and Capes United have more than 10 points to make up. The balance of power has totally shifted in the top flight, with the new forces, which are well organized and better funded, now dictating the terms. It is almost a decade since any of the traditional Big Three won the league, with Cape United being the last to taste glory in 2016. Since then, FC Platinum has taken 4 titles, Wangezi Platinum Stars bagged the honours last season. The league is a marathon, and judging by the distance the 3 sides have to make up, it will take a monumental shift for any of them to win the league this season. The trio has shown neither the hunger nor the consistency needed to win the league title, while the emerging forces have all the positive vibes. The league is slowly approaching mid-season, and the traditional giants will surely be assessing their options ahead of the second half of the season.
Still with football news, Women Premier Soccer League clubs have received a $5,000 United States dollar boost from FIFA.
In a first for local football, Women Premier Soccer League clubs have received funds from the World Football Governing Body under the FIFA Forward program. The funds,
and we look forward that they are going to propel our game into a better standard than what we have been doing over the years.
The Women Premier Soccer League has also successfully registered players under the FIFA Connect system. Mtokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And so that story there coming through from women football, putting a wrap on sports news today. But remember, the Euros continue to excite, with Belgium having just lost to Slovakia, while France is taking on Austria as we speak, and still new. It's back to the main desk.
Well, many thanks to Lawrence there for giving us our daily dose of sport. And that was our final port of call from all of us here. It's good night.
Good night.